Hello and May the 4th be with you. In celebration for Star Wars Day today here on May the 4th, I thought I would do a video showing my top 5 Star Wars games. So let's get straight into it. Coming in at number 5 we have Star Wars Republic Commando. This game holds a kind of special place in my heart since it was one of the first games I actually got on the original Xbox system when it came out. I remember playing it when I got home from school and I was just amazed at how awesome it was just to be able to take part in missions set during the Clone Wars and showing hints at characters that were coming up in episode 3 such as General Grievous and the Wookiees. I thought the storyline involving this sort of Spec Ops clone troopers was really cool as well, and something we hadn't really seen at that time. We hadn't really had a chance to explore the Clone Wars up until that point, so it was really cool that they were sort of expanding on a little bit of the lore and what would happen after Episode 2 and before Episode 3, and this sort of leads into Episode 3 as well. The storyline was really cool as well, with like stuff to do with Wookiees on Kashyyyk and everything. You got to rescue Tarful from Trandoshans and everything, and try and stop General Grievous, and he sort of hinted at before he appears in Episode 3, so I thought that was really cool. And I like how they sort of built up to a sequel that we never actually got. I thought that was really terrible that we never actually got a sequel for this, with Sev going missing, and you have to sort of leave him behind, and your troops were getting ready to go find him when the game sort of winds down. I actually hope we actually get a sequel, and there's been rumors that we actually might get a sequel. Next up we have Star Wars Empire at War. This is one of the first RTS games I actually played in the Star Wars universe. I remember playing the old Galactic Battlegrounds when that came out, and then I transitioned over into this one when it first came out, and I got a computer that could run it. I remember this being really cool, that you could play the games and have like a galaxy that you could choose which planets you could go and overtake, and choose little parts of your fleet to like go here and here, and I thought that was really cool. And also the expansion pack for this, Forces of Corruption, was really cool as well, and involved the Black Sun and the Zen Consortium, and you got all these really cool characters and everything. I thought it was really well done and everything, and it was a shame it never got a sequel. I remember people talking about that it might got a sequel because it was actually really popular when it came out, because I remember being able to play online and never having trouble finding anyone. You always found someone to play with. I thought it was a really cool game. I did, however, think it was a little bit lacking in some aspects, like the storyline and everything. I thought some of the storyline could be a bit better, since it really mainly followed the movie, so there was certain things you could and couldn't do. But I know like fans created loads and loads of mods for this game. I remember having mods that allowed stuff from the Clone Wars to come in, and HD retextures and stuff like that. So it had a really cool modding community around it, and it helped that the game was always kind of fresh in terms of you versing an AI and everything. You never knew what was going to happen and everything, and there was multiple ways to sort of finish a game. Like you could finish one with just brute force, or strategically taking over all the resource points and everything. So it had loads of replayability, and that's why I really loved it. Coming in at number 3, we have Star Wars Galaxies. Star Wars Galaxies was the first game I actually started paying a subscription to. I thought it was really cool that we had this online MMO where you could actually go into the Star Wars universe, create a character, and be pretty much anything. This game allowed you to do basically anything. Like you could play the whole game without ever fighting, because you could be a cantina dancer, or you could be a medical officer, or a bounty hunter, or a Jedi. And the Jedi was actually one of the most popular classes because of how hard it was to actually become a Jedi. It was not easy. This was back during the time where games were actually pretty hard. It was, however, ruined because they introduced a patch, and it basically did a bunch of stuff that people didn't like, and after that the game sort of died, and then they turned the servers off a couple of years later, which was really sad. I know you can actually play on on quote-unquote private servers now, as people have sort of resurrected it and everything. I haven't personally seen that, but I've seen videos of that, and it actually looks pretty fun. It brings memories back of me being on Mustafar trying to find a lightsaber and everything. I thought it was really cool that people are actually bringing that game back. But yeah, this game was absolutely fantastic, and all its expansion packs were really cool as well. There was like the Jump to Lightspeed one, which added like space combat, and you could get the Millennium Falcon and TIE fighters and space yachts and everything. There was also really cool customization of your character. You could actually replace limbs of your body with robotic ones. I remember my character, a bounty hunter, had a robotic arm, and he looked really cool and everything. The worlds as well were absolutely massive and unending, since you could build settlements and everything and live in houses and everything. It was a really fun game. I really miss it. Next up we have Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast. This was Raven Software's game that sort of introduced me into the world of multiplayer, sort of competitive multiplayer. I remember playing kind of competitively with a bunch of different friends of mine back in the early 2000s when this game first came out. I thought this game was really fun as well, and it sort of introduced expanded universe characters to me in the form of Kyle Katarn, Jan Ors, all those types of characters, and it also spawned another really cool game, which I'll mention as well, Jedi Academy, which allowed you to create your own Jedi and sort of go on little missions and sort of pick your own, choose your own adventure sort of thing. But yeah, this game was really fun. It had a really cool storyline where you're like this guy who is an ex-stormtrooper who has force abilities, and he gets taught by Luke Skywalker to become a Jedi, and he has to go around sort of doing missions for the rebellion and everything. He's responsible for getting the Death Star plans to the rebellion. I think that was back in Dark Forces 2. This game also still, to this day in 2016, has a massive multiplayer online presence, since I still see people playing the game. I actually installed it earlier on this year and played a little bit of multiplayer, and people are still, you know, doing death matches and team death matches, going at each other with lightsabers and everything. This was also the first game that I discovered console commands, since I found the console command that allowed your lightsaber to actually act like a lightsaber and dismember people. It was I thought it was really cool that you could cut stormtroopers' arms and legs off and send them flying around with the force and everything. Really makes you feel like a Jedi. And my number one favorite Star Wars game of all time is Shadows of the Empire. It's really kind of a coincidence that this game is my favorite, since as of recording this, 20 minutes before I started recording, it actually popped up on GOG.com as a new game they put up for PC. So I actually bought it and started playing it again, and it brought back so many memories. It was one of the first games I bought on the N64 back in the day. I think I had this game and I think Pokemon Snap. And I remember playing this game, you know, flying the Outrider and those missions through the asteroid field where you gotta shoot the TIE fighters, you know, going into the sewers of Coruscant and versing the massive Diagona, and the level with IG-88, which I absolutely was so scared of. I have no idea why. It was just such a scary level. But just everything about this game is so much fun. And I did a video before talking about this, which you could probably go check out. But it wasn't really meant to just be a game. It was like an event. It was like Star Wars Episode 5.5. They really pushed this game, you know, with this game, a novel, soundtracks, comics, books, just all sorts of things. Everything short of a movie they did for this, and they actually thought about making this into a movie. There's just something really cool about being this guy, Dash Rendar, who's sort of like Han Solo's friend, and there's this mission you got to go on for the rebellion, and you know, you got to stop Prince Sizor and everything. It's just really cool. It's so Star Warsy as well, like the missions you go on as well, like hijacking an Imperial freighter with Luke and everything. Really cool stuff happening in this game, and of course it hasn't aged very well, but I think that's a little bit of the charm as well. You look at it and you think, wow, we've come so far. You know, you get to fly a speeder on Hoth and do the grappling hook takedown of the AT-ATs. I thought, like, back then it was so cool and everything. I really love this game. So that's my top 5 Star Wars video games. Tell me in the comments section what are your favourite Star Wars video games and why. Also comment on video games you would actually like to see from the Star Wars universe and ones you actually might be hoping for in the near future. And as always, have a great Star Wars day.